What's up, Overwatch fans, and welcome to the final regular season weekend here in the Blizzard Arena. We are live in the middle of week 4 of the final stage, and the playoff race is coming to a boil. The Paris Eternals' playoff chances are slim, but they are alive, and they'll need a 4-0 win and some help. And they're facing a team looking to punch a postseason ticket of their own today. The Shanghai Dragons may be the Stage 3 champs, but find themselves barely inside our 12th place cutoff with 2 matches to play. These two teams will put their seasons on the line in about 30 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Watchpoint Pre-Show presented by State Farm. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and I got the SSD with me today. I'm talking Zoe Sideshow, and Dr. Doa's in the building.
Ultra fast and efficient storage?
Yes.
Storage of knowledge?
We got some memories here on the desk.
Can we get
We're
it
gonna
out?
make
That's
more
the
today,
question.
Doa.
Can we talk about why Kai was carrying toilet paper?
Hey, you know, some questions are better left unanswered.
I didn't see this.
You did.
You missed
No,
it?
no. Is he planning to mop up a mess that the Chengdu Hunters make?
Hey, we'll find out a little bit later in the show, and we are feeling all bubbly on this edition of Watchpoint today, and that's because several of our playoff bubble teams are in action in the Blizzard Arena today. We'll hear from the Dragons, Valiant, and Hunters as they get set for some must-win matches. Plus, after a long sabbatical, Dr. Doa has returned with some new remedies for some of the league's ailing teams. Can he save them from postseason disappointment? You'll have to watch to find out. It all leads up to 4 gigantic matches on stage today, starting with the Paris Eternal against the Shanghai Dragons. Then it's the Los Angeles Valiant who will be taking on the Boston Uprising, and Chengdu closes out the night with Houston. But our third match is perhaps the most important, has the most playoff implications of all. That's the 7th place Seoul Dynasty taking on the 10th place Philadelphia Fusion. Now, Seoul still has a chance to finish as high as 5th place or as low as 8th place, and the Fusion are battling for seeding in that single elimination play-in tournament. It's the final regular season battle for both these teams. So, Sideshow, who does it mean more to? Who needs this win today?
I would definitely say it's the Seoul Dynasty. They're going to be looking at 100% to take the victory here. And that's because not only do they want to avoid the play-in tournament, but they're also playing for seeding. You can see here they're sat at the 7th place, but they have a great map differential. If they're able to take this win and start pushing their way up, they're looking good for that 6th place or possibly even the 5th place over the Gladiators. Now that's huge because that means you avoid playing the shock. And you also just avoid the play-in tournament altogether, where you might have to take on the Rain, the Charge. Those are games where the Seoul Dynasty would actually be scared to fight those teams.
Oh, yeah, man. And the thing is, like, I feel like Seoul Dynasty now is really well positioned to beat the Fusion. And a lot of that is because Fleta has just seemed to kind of come alive again. Like, Fleta has become Fleta of old. His
they're
main
playing
stats are
Fleta.
out of control. Like, look at this. This is just, it's hard to watch because it's a Zenyatta, I know. Or it's an Ana, it's a support. You get an idea. But either way, Fleta and Michelle, both close to the top of the league in 2 very important stats, Blizzard efficiency and hook accuracy in the case of Michelle's Roadhog. So if they can keep performing today against the Fusion, I believe that they can. In the way that they've been performing recently, I think Seoul actually has a really good chance to win it hard, get a greater map differential, and have a good chance to get into 5th, providing that the Gladiators and London lose.
On the other side of things here, we have the Philadelphia Fusion, who finished 2018 so hot. They went all the way to the grand finals after being the dark horse in that race. How can they improve today, so in their final match?
You know what? I want them to unleash EQO. He's been in brick prison. Now he's in some kind of weird frozen prison, as they have been playing May more often than not. So let's take a look at how they actually fare when they are. Yeah, let him go.
I knew you were going to do that. I saw that one coming.
Brilliant,
brilliant. Yeah.
However, yeah, look at their
don't wanna
teamfight
feel
win
this
rate when he is on May. It's actually below 50%. However, when he's not on May, when he plays, let's say their Hanzo, for example, they're faring a lot better. All the Philadelphia Fusion have to do is not have Carpe on Hanzo, but actually put EQO on it and go double sniper. I think they look the best when they played that double sniper composition, so I hope to see more of that today.
I'm down for double snipes. Bring out all
Can't
the
argue with that.
headshots, guys. Good luck in that matchup for both teams. It's going to be a big one. And if the season ended right now, this would be our single elimination play-in bracket. The Fusion would be taking on Shanghai, while Chengdu would claim the 12th and final spot to face Guangzhou. The Valiant would be the first team out after a hard-fought run from the bottom of the standings, and we spoke to several of these teams to find out how intense the pressure is to pop this playoff bubble.
This is the kind of final stretch of the regular season as the playoffs and the play-ins are looming. So every single one of these games is very important.
Every map still matters.
벼랑 끝이다 이 말이지.
플레이오프에 들어갈 수 있다고 느꼈던 적은 1스테이지와 2스테이지에서는 전혀 없었고
3스테이지 딱 결승 심프란전이고 그때였던 것 같아요.
Young Jin, this guy is an absolute maniac.
There's no retreat. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I think after the Vancouver Titans win, we all felt like we had a very good chance of coming back and getting into playoff.
EMP manages the hit for it. Simon John both get eliminated by Shaq.
뉴욕을 4대0으로 이겼잖아요. 그래가지고 전에는 살짝 의심이 들긴 했는데 오늘 이긴 거로 이제 확신으로 바뀐 것 같아요.
Alright, Happy. 6 shots. Oh, buddy. Is that? Get out.
We are having about 8 teams be in contention for last 2 slots.
압박감이란 역시 장난 아니죠.
If we lose a match, we don't go. We don't go to the playoffs. So we need to win every match. Every match is taken so seriously because we need the map score, we need the matches, and then on top of that, we need a bit of luck from the other teams. We're kind of praying for everything right now.
我觉得，与其盼着别人打得越差，不如让自己打得越好。我也是。
How about that? What a shatter from Among. Wades forward, gets 5.
플레이오프를 안전하게 가야 되니까 이제 부담감을 가져야 되는 게 맞는데
붙을 팀들 보면은 저보다 좀 못하는 것 같고
달라스 퓨어는 별로 그렇게 부담감이 있는 경기가 아니어서 아마도 쉽게 이길 거라 예상을 하기 때문에
One step closer, you know, one match at a time, one game at a time. We played Boston. That's all we care about right now. You have to believe that your team can win, and that's our road to plan.
나머지 팀분들 그쪽들을 이제 밟으러 갈 차례입니다.
Good luck. 加油吧.
저희가 우승할 거니까 다들 긴장하시고 연습 많이 하시고 오세요.
좋은 도발이다. 나쁘지 않았어.
And here are some awesome playoff probabilities whipped up by our stat geniuses in the back. As you can see, even though Chengdu is currently ahead of the Valiant in the standings, with 3 matches to play and a better map differential, it's actually LA who has a better shot to make the playoffs over the Hunters. Several teams are looking super strong heading into the postseason, but some others are feeling a little under the weather. Fear not, Dr. Doa has some remedies for all of your ailing playoff teams. That's next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I'm Dr. Doa. I was just waiting for my next patient. I suppose I could let you in and allow you to see a little bit of how the process works, just how we take care of teams here at the Overwatch League. So without any further ado, let's get our first patient in here.
Hey, Dr. Doa.
Hi. Oh, Shanghai Dragons, I see.
I wear my medium t-shirt today.
Oh, I see.
Dr. Doa just,
Yes.
you know, I had so much energy. I was feeling so good at the end of last stage, but recently my head hurts, just queasy a little bit, just don't feel like myself.
Have you had any lifestyle changes recently? I've heard some things.
I've definitely gone through a lot of changes. I'm not running what I want to run as often as I want.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because I heard you had a little bit of a party in stage 3.
Oh, yeah. I definitely did that.
Well, I mean, what it looks like to me is you just have your typical hangover, right? You know, you partied kind of hard. You maybe overdid a little bit, and now that the meta's shifted, you're, a little bit hard to adjust, a little bit groggy. But don't worry, simple cure. I know this is your first time experiencing something like this.
It was great. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, hopefully, hopefully, maybe not so hopefully again. But anyway, we got something for you. Don't worry about it. How about some ice water? I think that would help a lot with the Mei, help you cool down a little bit. Ding's been struggling a little bit on that hero. That may aid you. And then after that, a little bit less far hopping in general. The far play is still good. Ding's been decent.
I do love the far hop.
And I apologize for that pun. I do. But it's important, I think, that you move away from that hero a little bit and maybe try to shift the roster a little bit more. Maybe Young Jin as a flex tank. If you know you're only going to need Rodon, you can try it out. So relax, ice water, a little bit less Pharah. You'll be right as rain before you know it.
Got it.
Get
Thanks,
out of
Doc.
my office.
Appreciate
Get
you.
out. Goodbye. Well, let's see who's next. Come on in. It's going to be, New York. Again, how you doing?
Oh, man. I don't feel it too well. I feel like something's really dragging me down lately. I like that my nose is stuffed. I feel crusty. I feel like almost like sandy eyes every morning when I wake up.
Yeah.
I got a bit of a cough too. I feel it coming. I don't know. What's up with me?
If I remember, you were in here about this time last year as well, so I think it's going to be the same thing. This is just a case of post-seasonal allergies. Every year around this time, the postseason rolls around in New York, starts to dip a little bit. Your performance kind of slows down. You get kind of bad. But don't worry, something's been invented recently, and it's been tested a bit, I think, so we can give it to you, I'm pretty sure. It's called Winadrill. That's right. You just need some wins, and it helps with a lot of things. As you can see, choking, roll lockjaw, some swollen sand glands, and sore goats as well, although that seems to be kind of clearing up on its own right now. But
yeah, that one's been getting better. Thank you so much, Doc. Yeah, I already feel better, actually. Cool.
Take
Thank
the pills,
you.
get
Thanks
some
a lot.
wins.
Nice.
That's how it works. Well, we have one more patient to go. Who's it going to be? Oh, London Spitfire.
All right, Doc.
How are you doing?
I'm actually feeling great. I'm feeling perfectly fine.
Really?
Yeah, the only issue is sometimes I put weight in the wrong place, and some days I just fall over.
Yeah, you're not looking good. While you've been away, we've secretly x-rayed you, which is totally ethical. I've been told, and we found out you have a severe OT fracture, actually.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
That's right. It means you struggle in overtime.
It's not my leg.
That is your leg, in fact. You can see the overtime bar right there actually interfering with your ability. It's shattered your ability, in fact, to win matches in clutch situations. So I've got something for you here.
Oh, thank you.
That's right.
Doc.
Conveniently, just waiting for you. It's a clutch crutch.
Oh,
and
thanks.
this is going to help you a little bit in terms of, just getting those map wins in those intense moments.
So I just lean on this, and suddenly I won't fall over so much.
Just do that, and you'll be totally fine.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Doa. You are a miracle worker.
You'll be good. Don't worry. Everything's going to be great. He'll be dead in hours.
Gotta love Dr. Doa, and hopefully those teams follow the doctor's orders. Now that the playoffs are a Winston's bubble, several teams are forwards floating around the top trying to pop it.
Sure.
We'll tell you which of these fringe teams has the best shot next on the Watchpoint Preshow. The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Eluding that ultimate. Now looking to set up the wall. Goes ahead, slaps that one down as he started dancing. Barrier going to be broken. Main wall comes in, but Preshow going to be the first one to fall. Quickly they're able to trade back, remove Giannis from the game, and now Color Hex and Fusion ripping people to shreds. So one of the right now making it look easy. Buck is coming down still, trying to knock Kamsu out of the fight before that barrage is going to be used by Rascal. He'll just go ahead and use it right on top of Ding's head. Gets the double kill.
Desperation sends it for New York. Another blade. Oh, 3 kills with 1 swipe. And he goes down, but hey, man, he did his job. That is enough. That is... Oh! A hack into the blade. We've seen this so many times from the Titans and other teams in this league. Hawksaw carves apart the London Spitfire. That might be the end of the map right there.
There we go.
Well, right now it's Saya player versus the LA Valiant ship. It is a point.
Oh, buddy. Set sail. The winds are fine today, and this is just going to keep... Saya is just abusing him now. Talk about extending a record. He's going to just try and make it as hard to beat as possible.
The grand finals are coming to Philly on the 29th. We'll see you there, but it's the Los Angeles Valiant who are looking to complete an improbable run to the playoffs after starting the season at 0-8. If they beat Boston and Chengdu loses to Houston, they're in, but they must beat Boston first. So what's something the Valiant need to clean up to ensure that victory today, Zoe?
Well, I think one of the main points here is going to be for their DPS players to play a little bit more careful because as it stands right now, pretty much all of them are getting picked off a fair bit. It doesn't look like much, right? Because it's still below 20%. But if we consider league-wide how they compare to the other damage dealers, they're actually dying first quite often. And if we're looking at the team fight win percentage right after they are being taken out of the equation, it's pretty abysmal. That's something you don't want to see, more so in the meta right now where you rely so heavily on your damage dealers because you don't have a Zarya or anything anymore to give that extra damage. So when your damage dealers are gone, that's pretty much it.
You're not winning that fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dylan, let's talk about the Valiant's odds, though, here, because they still have 3 matches, right? We have the Kit Kat rivalry weekend coming up next week, but today you think is the most important battle. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, they're all important, but today is really like their golden opportunity to get a win big, get as much map differential as possible, but it's going to be tough. They have to win every single game from here on out. They got to beat Boston today, but then it gets even harder next week at the homestand weekend, at the rivalry weekend. They got to beat the Gladiators and the Shock. And if we're honest, it's kind of a situation like where, you know, Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee are taking the Ring of Sauron to Mount Doom in Mordor, and are they probably going to die? Yeah, they're probably going to die on the way. But they made it in the movies. Some wizards and eagles and other things.
So you're saying the Valiant need wizards and eagles?
They might. It might help. I'm not saying it wouldn't hurt.
Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm saying they could do it.
I have no idea.
They gotta win. That's the point.
Josh, how do you follow this up?
Yeah, it's just a constant battle at the moment between Chengdu and the Valiant to be able to get in. Between these two teams, I actually think that Chengdu seem to have a better chance just because the Valiant schedule at the Kit Kat rivalry weekend is so brutal.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to go to their own homestand where nobody's ever lost a homestand game before, and they're playing Gladiators and the Shock. That is not a fun way to end the season.
It's going to be rough. If the Valiant do beat Boston, though, tonight, then our last match of the day becomes a win or go home match for the Chengdu Hunters. The Hunters will face a very tough Houston Outlaws team that was surging in Stage 3, but seemed to be maybe running out of gas in our final stage. Now, this is the Hunters' final match of the regular season, so they need to win regardless of what happens with the Valiant's match. And coming off that loss to the Shock, 0-4 last night, how confident can they really be today?
Well, that's a difficult one, isn't it? Because both of these teams actually have a history of playing against each other too. So it's not like the Hunters are just going up against a random team. But when you think about Stage 3, yes, the Chengdu Hunters were playing weird stuff, but so were the Houston Outlaws. The Houston Outlaws were like the Chengdu of the West.
So sad.
And they were scrimming against each other all the time, and that was one of the reasons we saw so much DPS being played last stage, is because Chengdu set the way, but Houston played against Chengdu all the time and proved that they could beat them, matching DPS against them. So I think when it comes down to it, both of these teams are actually going to be really even on the day. It'll just come down to who performs better.
Yeah, just a minor difference here. Back then they had Jake, a leadership figure for that team, and that is what you need to have in your team if you want to adapt quickly on the fly. And there is a chance that we're still not going to see him today either. He has been tweeting out that Linkster has been taking his spot in the recent matches we saw due to personal reasons, whatever that may mean. However, that puts Linkster in a really awkward spot now because there's a lot of pressure on him to perform, and he has to fill in for heroes he usually wouldn't be playing. He has been more of a situational pick for that team. He was fielded on certain maps for certain heroes, and now he potentially has to kind of cover for Jake, and those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and when you add to that they have the issues with Dante on the Mei as well, it's going to be tough. But the Mei is something that's actually really interesting to me between these two teams because they both have Mei issues, but in very different ways. We have a fascinating graphic to show you with this, right? If you compare Jinmu and Dante, Jinmu actually has very good stats with the very little time that he's played Mei. You convert that over to Dante's side, really poor stats on the Mei, but they have played a lot of it. So Dante, in fact, one of the few Mei players where the team fight win rate goes down when he uses Blizzard, which is a strange...
What?
It's a strange thing to have happen. But yeah, their team fight win rate goes down when Blizzard is used in that team fight by their team. So there you go. So, you know, Chengdu Hunters have arguably a good Mei player, but they're not using him. And not Titans. And Houston have a Mei player that's just not working out.
We'll find out if the Hunters can finish strong. There's so much on the line today. We're less than 10 minutes from the action on stage. Soon and DM will bring out their headhunting widows face to face, and we've got our predictions. It's all coming up next right here on the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. The Shanghai Dragons face a feisty Eternal squad with very slim playoff hopes of their own. The Stage 3 champion Dragons have lost 4 of 5, but can claim a top 12 playoff spot with the win today over Paris. So what do the Dragons need to fix ASAP if they don't want to miss the postseason here, Doa?
Well, I feel like there's only one hero in Overwatch that I talk about today, and it's Mei again. And this is another problem. The thing is, well, I mean, I've always thought she's been an underrated DPS hero, but the Shanghai Dragons kind of struggling a little bit. We talked about this earlier. It's part of the Shanghai Shangover, right? Where, you know, Ding has really kind of struggled on this hero, and part of that is the numbers, but part of it is also the decision-making, too. Where the Blizzard goes, where the Mei wall goes, you know, not the best one ever right there. And when you look at what a Mei does for the team, a lot of that isn't really calculatable by statistics because a lot of it is just where you place that Mei wall and when. And if you're not doing that well, you're opening up your team to a lot of big problems in team fights. And so that's what we're kind of seeing from Shanghai. Hopefully it kind of picks up here.
Well, for the Paris, the Mei actually worked out. I think when they played the Ice Pick, the Widowmaker Mei combos, it actually worked really well for them. So let's take a look at the Widowmaker in that equation. That is, of course, going to be soon for the Paris Eternal. How does he compare to Diem? Let's take a look at some numbers. Yes, it will look like Diem is maybe having the upper hand here when it comes to his first limbs. However, if we're looking at the next number, the teamfight win percentage after each of those Widows is getting that first limb, a lot higher with Soon in the mix there, or rather for the Paris Eternal. And that means that the team is just so much better in following up on those first kills, which the team is getting. And that's really the key, right? What's the point in getting in a limb if your team isn't moving in? Because that's supposed to be the opener for your team. That's when everyone is moving in and follows up. If the team doesn't do it, then, well, that's
It's going to be a flashy face-off for sure between those two Widows. But guys, we're running out of time. Let's get right into our predictions for the day. It's a nice little Saturday with all three of our analysts coming together to pick Shanghai, the Valiant. Yeah, fans love seeing that one. Seoul Dynasty gets the win. But Sideshow, is that a Houston Outlaws upset, I see?
It is, and it's a risky one.
It's a 30-second
It's always
face
risky
off.
when you pander to fan bases.
Oh, I'm not pandering to the fan base,
Oh,
and
really?
I resent your pander pun as well. The Houston Outlaws actually have done okay this stage, and their previous game they went 2-3 against the Justice, who are a much better team than Chengdu. I think it's time we throw the Hunters' idea of them being able to beat anybody out the window. They just haven't performed recently.
I mean, they can beat anybody, though. They've shown that in the past. And Jinmu, I'm on the Moo crew, are you? And I'm not a
went to
pander
5
bear
against
here.
Boston.
Yeah, but who won?
Sure. Chengdu.
GG.
5
That's
against
right. GG no re.
It's going to be a great day. Shout out to everyone in the Blizzard Arena tonight. We're going to close it out big here at the end of Stage 4. Don't go anywhere. The matches are coming up right after the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm.